Pets. Whether you love them or hate them, they are definitely a key element for any successful wizard. Wizard101's different combat and stat mechanics can be confusing and even overwhelming to new wizards, and this is especially true for beginners trying to navigate the complex and often resource-intensive pet system. When brand new wizards look around and see all the different pets available throughout the spiral, it can be difficult trying to figure out what pets will be most useful for them early on. Should they go for looks alone, damage spells, blades or traps, healing or shields? There's quite a lot of factors to consider, and without any guidance, it can be difficult to know where to start looking. But fear not, my fellow wizards. In this video, I'm going to talk about a number of different incredibly valuable pets, both for those new wizards just starting out, and those wizard veterans eager for some different pet options. I'm going to select the pet I believe is overall the best for each school, as well as the best general pet for all the schools combined. To clarify, I'm choosing pets based on their usefulness for PvE rather than PvP. PvP pets will have to be an entirely different video. In addition, I'll be focusing mostly on the item cards that pets provide rather than individual stats or talents. Pet breeding and hatching is a large and complex topic all on its own, and most new wizards will not have the knowledge nor resources to jump immediately into the deep end, so I want to simplify this as much as possible. My criteria for pets in this guide will therefore only include pets that are free, meaning no crowns pets, have no PvP rank requirements, are available in the pet kiosk, and have the most useful spells for wizards just starting out in the game. Pets will also be divided into categories based on damage, healing, or utility before I declare an overall winner for each school. Now, with that out of the way, let's get started with the School of Storm. A lot of early Storm wizards expect questing to be a breeze. I mean, they picked the school with the highest initial damage for a reason, right? But a lot of Storm wizards quickly find that their visions of this quickly turn to this. However, getting the right pet can help. For those damage-focused diviners are pets that give storm blades or traps. Top choices include the Charging Bull, Clamoring Gulcher, Deep Leviathan, or Raincore, all of which give you a handy-dandy storm blade right out of the gate. If traps are more your speed, I recommend the Whirlwind Grimoire, which gives you a 25% trap to place on your enemies. If you're more interested in healing, another option is the Franken Bunny, which gives you 3 copies of the Storm spell Healing Current once you raise it to Mega. An honorable mention I'd like to include for Storm is the Little Siren pet, which unfortunately is a Crown's only pet, but if you're lucky enough to have one, offers 3 very handy copies of the Siren's AoE spell for the cost of only 7 pips, which can make questing a breeze. So what's your best option here? For me, it's a tight race between the Raincore and Clamoring Gulcher, but I have to go with the Gulcher in the end. By the time you get this bird to Mega, you're getting not only a Storm Blade, but also a copy of the very handy Windstorm spell, as well as the bubble Astrophobia, which boosts your critical and pierce. Since Storm Wizards with their low health usually want to deal damage fast and hard, this pet offers a balance of useful item cards to help you pull off a glass cannon build. Look out, boys. Next up are the contenders for Best Fire Pet. Fire starts out a little slower than Storm, but by max level, Pyromancers become the true damage dealers in the spiral. Stay clear or you'll get burned. For those interested in a damage boost, I recommend the Sun Serpent, Raging Bull, or Ornery Kookaburra, all of which give you a Fire Blade item card. However, if you're more interested in stacking traps to take advantage of Fire's iconic damage over time spells, pets that give fire traps or fuel item cards such as the Burnitar, Incendiary Grimoire, or Fire Beetle might be more your speed. For utility, I also want to mention pets that can give you a 100% accuracy copy of Meteor Strike, such as the Ornery Kookaburra or Dotoli's Dragon, which can be very handy for nuking early mobs when your accuracy is normally still quite low. Honorable mentions for this school include the Fennec Fox, a Crown's pet dropped by Sun, Darkling, and Chrysalis, which offers a Fire Blade, a Fuel Trap, and a minion all together. However, the winner definitely has to be the Ornery Kookaburra, which offers a Fire Blade, a full accuracy meteor card, and a Power Link card for healing. This is a very well-rounded pet, which is ideal for new Pyromancers. Soon, no one will be able to stifle your flames. Up next is that tank of a school, Ice. If you're a new Ice Wizard, you may have noticed that you can take a beating like a champ with your massive health pool, but you're not exactly turning heads with your damage output. Ice has some of the weakest hitting spells in the game and suffers the longest wait to get their first school blade. Yes, Thaumaturges have to wait until they hit level 38 before they get their first blade. Yikes. So getting a useful pet early can make a huge difference in questing quickly or retiring your ice wizard permanently. Since ice already has so many good shield and defensive spells from an early level, I'm focusing mostly on damage pets here. Some great pets that give you an ice blade to tide you over until level 38 are the Freezing Raincore, Frosty Eye, Lord of Winter, Ice Dactyl, and Chivalrous Knight, the last of which actually gives you 2 ice blades. If you like traps instead, I recommend the Verglass Grimoire, but seriously, ice blades are where it's at. Honorable mentions that aren't available in the kiosk also include the Snow Beast and Mountain Yeti, which both give you an ice blade, with the Mountain Yeti in addition offering a handy 8-pip Tundra Lord AoE card. So which pet should you add to your icy arsenal first? I have to go with the Frosty Eye pet, which offers that coveted ice blade, along with a 100% accuracy blizzard, and a blinding freeze stun card which gives you an edge in almost any early battle. This pet will allow you to cut through enemies like butter until you can get your real ice blade spell and better AoEs later on. There's a reason the 9th Circle of Hell is frozen over. Now let's shift over to the spirit schools, starting with Life. While known primarily for their healing capacity, you shouldn't underestimate a Theurgist's ability to thrive on the battlefield, especially since some of their abilities make them quite difficult to kill. Well, most of the time anyway. However, just like ice, life wizards do suffer from a lower damage output, especially early on, so a useful pet can make the early game a lot easier. For damage, some great pet candidates include the Kookaburra, Courageous Bull, Dryad, Life Wardle, Lively Opossum, or Timberland Yeti, all of which give an extra Life Blade item card. For life traps instead, check out the Rooted Grimoire or Tree Serpent. If you're more interested in a support role, Life also has a wide array of pets that offer healing utility. However, if you want a full list of healing pets, check the end of this video since healing pets are useful to all schools. Life-specific pets include the Eternal Leviathan, which offers a Guiding Light card, the Copper Colossus with Brilliant Light, or the Wild Sabertooth, which offers Sanctuary. An honorable mention for healing is the Leaffoot Crown's pet, dropped by Ixcac's Cursed Wing, which gives all 3 of the previous cards, but on 1 pet. Another thing to consider for life wizards is that they don't get an AoE for quite a long time, which can make early questing difficult. Some pets that offer a solution are the Kookaburra with its handy 4-pip Leafstorm AoE, or the Timberland Yeti, which has a 7-pip Forest Lord AoE as well. Though healing is definitely a core part of the life school identity, the lack of AoE and early damage options means we need a pet that can perform in all 3 categories. The Kookaburra wins hands down, since it offers damage, a low-cost AoE, and healing all in one compact, cute package. As a life wizard, you really can have it all and breeze through the early part of the game with this little bird by your side. Just don't forget entirely about the healing, since other wizards can get a little touchy about it. Next up is the edgy goth kid of the wizarding world, Death. With their ability to deal damage while healing at the same time, along with their excellent spell debuffs to enemies, Necromancers make a formidable opponent equipped to both hit and support at the same time. However, much like life wizards, Death suffer from a lack of an early game AoE, which can slow down their progress considerably. So what are your best options as a new Death wizard? For damage, I recommend the Gulcher, Acid Raincore, Dark Hound, Avenging Fossil, Death Dactyl, Ghastly Opossum, or Gloomy Eye Pet, all of which offer a Death Blade item card. In addition, the Avenging Fossil, Dark Hound, and Gulcher also give a Feint card, which can be a huge boost to your damage since you otherwise have to wait till level 26 to get it. Other pets that offer death traps include the Death Wardle, Death Scarab, Grim Scarab, and Forgotten Grimoire if you want more options. For early AoE options, the Gloomy Eye and Scarecrow come to the rescue with the 4-pip Colossifrog card and 8-pip Ominous Scarecrow cards respectively. Other honorable mentions for death pets include the Deer Knight pet from the Halloween packs, which can give you a copy of the 5-pip Deer Knight spell, as well as the Scrappy Griffin from the Sinbad Horde pack, which gives a Death Blade, a Feint, and a copy of the Avenging Fossil spell. If you're eager for the Deer Knight spell but don't want to pay money for the Deer Knight pet, I recommend watching my first video for a free and easy way to get the Deer Knight spell early. For best pet, I have to go with the Gloomy Eye pet. Though we lose the damage from not having a Feint spell in its arsenal, having access to both a Death Blade and AoE card, along with a stun, more than make up for the loss in my opinion. With this pet, you should be able to kill mobs quite easily, which will tide you over until you get your first AoE in Scarecrow at level 48. Just try not to be too edgy as you conquer the spiral one world at a time, okay?
Just watch me, Elle. I'll solve equations with my right hand and write names with my left. I'll take a potato chip and eat it.
Finally, the least appreciated of the spirit schools, Myth. While Myth has some of the highest damage of the spirit schools, it has long suffered from a lack of options due to its reliance on minion-based spells that simply at present do not function well with the current mechanics of the game. Because the minions take up a battle slot that could otherwise be filled by a wizard, Myth faces the perception of not playing well with others, leaving them as the misfits of the spiral. So what pets best give new conjurers an edge? To lean into their damage potential as a spirit school, I recommend the Enigmatic Gulcher, Little Medusa, Myth Dactyl, or Wandering Eye pet, all of which give a Myth Blade item card. For Myth Traps, you'll want the Fabled Grimoire, and for Myth Fuel, I would suggest the Ethereal Knight or Resolute Bloodbat pets. While Myth gets an early AoE in the form of Humungo Frog, it is a very weak spell, so pets such as the Wandering Eye can help with the 8-pip Lord Humungo Frog card, which hits all enemies while also stunning them. Other AoE options include the Myth Dactyl for its Earthquake card, or the Humungo Frog or Mythish Frog pets with their 6-pip damage over time AoE Noble Humungo Frog cards. An honorable mention for this school is the Plucky Griffin Crowns pet from the Sinbad Horde pack, since it gives a Myth Blade, Feint card, and Basilisk card by the time you raise it to Mega. So which pet should conjurers go for at the start? I have to pick the Wandering Eye pet, since by Epic you get not only a Myth Blade, but also a powerful AoE along with a stun card. With this pet at your side, maybe Myth Wizards can start to show their talents can be just as useful as the other schools in the spiral. Finally, on to our last school, Balance. Sorcerers are usually characterized as the chill support class of the spiral, though fully capable of dishing out damage when the need arises. Balance Wizards specialize in changing the variables of the battlefield, reducing accuracy and damage, buffing other schools or themselves, and transferring pips as necessary. Balance is also unique in that its main blades are universal and can be used by any other school. So what are a sorcerer's best options for pets that help with both damage and support? I recommend the many pets that give several forms of universal blades, including the Blaze Fox, Fairy, Gallant Bull, Gobbler Ball, Harmonic Quetzal, Noble Kookaburra, Opossum, and Parody Fairy, all of which give a balance blade. If you'd instead prefer a Dragon Blade, Frontier Dragon is your next best bet, followed by pets with Blade Storm item cards, such as the Beastmaster's Eagle, the different Opossum variants, and the Wild Sabertooth. If you feel like delving into Balance's healing abilities for support, look at the Flamenco Tocador, Noble Kookaburra, or Warden's Icehound, all of which supply you with copies of Availing Hands. Some honorable mentions for this school include the Snappy Griffin Crowns pet from the Sinbad Horde pack, which offers a stunning variety of useful cards, from a Balance Blade and Feint to a 7-pip Lernaean Hydra AoE card. Another one I have to mention is the Harpy pet dropped from the Sand Squid Tentacle in Aquila, which offers a copy of Spirit Trap, Spirit Blast, and the 7-pip AoE Lycian Chimera, which is fantastic to use against balance mobs that resist Balance's other spells. While Balance has a number of awesome pets to choose from, the obvious winner for early Balance Wizards is the Noble Kookaburra, with the Opossum coming in as a close second. The Noble Kookaburra offers both damage and support spells, with a Balance Blade, 4-pip Sandstorm card, and the healing spell Availing Hands. With this pet, hopefully the other schools will start to appreciate just how crucial it can be to have a good Balance Wizard on your side. Now that we've picked the best pet for each school, I do want to mention some pets that don't really fit into a school category, but nonetheless can be incredibly useful for a number of different schools. First, I want to start with healing pets, which can be helpful to every single early wizard, even if they aren't from the life school. There's a long list of pets with healing item cards, so check out my list and see if any catch your eye. Other helpful universal pets include any pets that give universal blades, like many of the balance pets mentioned in the last section. Pets in particular I want to mention are the Gobbler Ball, Frostfang, and Ice Whirl pets that give an elemental blade that can be useful to fire, ice, or storm, and the Poised Medusa pet, which gives spirit blades for either life, death, or myth. Finally, I have to mention the Dapper Corgi Crowns pet, which is dropped from Billy the Cutter and Marleybone for its energy talents, which are helpful if you do a lot of fishing or gardening. However, the pet that has to win the prize for Best Universal Pet is the Enchanted Armament. By Mega, this pet gives you not 1, not 2, but 3 sharpened blades, an enchant that you can't get until much higher levels. When combined with your school blades, these cards give you an enchanted version of the blade that stacks with your regular school blade for maximum damage. These enchants can even be combined with elemental or spirit blades to give you twice as many blades to choose from. If you want one pet that can be transferred between your various wizards and will be useful for all of them, this is the one you go for. Alright, my fellow wizards, I hope this video gave you some ideas about what pets might be most useful for your new schools. While these pets are some of your best options for early worlds, you will of course want to update your pets over time, and you may find your higher level wizards will need different pets along the way, so keep that in mind. What pets did you find most useful as a beginner? As always, I hope to see you out there in the spiral, and happy questing!